Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and this video is really going to be a response to White Knights, as you can guess by the title. But specifically I wanted to talk about a response to a video from a YouTuber who goes by the name of Red Pill Dude. And in his video he gave his thoughts on MGTOW, and I just sort of wanted to have a little rebuttal video in response to him, because I think this is a sign of things to come. We're going to start seeing more infiltrators of MGTOW trying to corrupt, trying to sabotage, and trying to fundamentally hijack our values, our culture, and our philosophies. And I think this is a good example of how this is starting to happen. I'll put a link to his video on below, but I just wanted to sort of point out a little bit of the points he hit up in his video. And the first one is his interpretation of MGTOW. And his interpretation of MGTOW was essentially that it's a bunch of men who are afraid of women, and they're walking away from women. Now, I've seen videos where there's plenty of MGTOW brothers who do have a day-to-day interaction with women, and they do go out with women, and they do Von do. But what MGTOW is really saying is that they don't believe women should be the center of attention. MGTOW's never said you had to avoid women altogether. Of course, there's different levels of MGTOW that do that, but what they're saying is that your life should not have to revolve around women, because there's more to life than pussy. So that kind of completely blows that one out of the water. I haven't seen a video yet that said you had to completely avoid women. Mayor of MGTOW, you know, he talks about his experience when playing the game a little bit, but he mentions on so many levels subliminally that it's conditional. So that one is completely wrong. The next one is when he says MGTOW advocates not going after what you want. I'm just curious, but who in the world died and made this guy leader and told or convinced this guy that he knows exactly what every man wants? I'm not so sure every single man on this planet is interested in pussy. At least I'm not. So what a man wants is entirely up to the man. So broadly assuming or jumping to the assumption that every man wants to chase pussy is a little overkill. Alright, what else do we've got here? Next, he says that MGTOW failed to accept the aspects of being masculine. If he hasn't seen my video or seen any other videos, there's a specific male that's called the Zeta male, and the Zeta male ultimately, as I said in my video, defines what masculinity is in his eyes. He doesn't let women or society dictate what being masculine is. So unless he believes being masculine is being ruled by a pussy, then that's his prerogative. But some men define their own masculinity in their own special way, and it doesn't include chasing pussy. Being masculine, in fact, is being able to acknowledge that this is the way they are and acting accordingly in some books. So unless he's equating masculinity with being pussy obsessed, then that one is completely a false hearing. Alright, the next one, he claims we as dudes get to pick who we approach. Now, this may be true, and this is true on some level, but just because we pick who we approach doesn't mean we pick who we are able to ultimately tie the knots with. Really, if you think about it, the woman has the ability to do all that, and the state backs her up on many levels. So yeah, we do choose to approach which women, but we do not choose ultimately which women we can tie the knots with. So I just wanted to point that one out. The next one is he claims that a dude should just go on ahead and pass the shit tests that women give him. Here's the thing. if a guy is gonna be willing to put up with the shit test for women, I think it's rather time he question his masculinity. Because, in my honest opinion, a real man chooses his battles, and no man has to put up with a shit test if he doesn't want to. At least, not when he's in the position to pass it down. So, I don't really quite see where he's going with this video. I think this is going to be many attempts, as well as more to come, to try to hijack the name of MGTOW, gentlemen. And he also even goes further to say that if you pass these shit tests, it means it's making you a better dude. So, if basically putting up with a nagging woman and basically putting up with bullshit from this woman makes you a better dude because you're able to suck up to the pussy and you're able to, basically be an enslaved individual, that makes you a better man because you're being a disposable utility and you're basically manning up because you're able to take and ditch one out. I'll tell you, I think this guy is seriously white knighting. Seriously. But, like I said, we're going to start seeing a lot more of this in the time to come. I think this is just a man who is an infiltrator, to be honest. I think either he's an infiltrator or he has MGTOW a little confused. The next one, he says, MGTOW men are cowering and fearing from women. In no way are MGTOW afraid of women. In fact, MGTOW, if anything, are acknowledging women as a whole and their nature as a whole. And upon recognizing female nature and the nature of man and the government, are just choosing different paths in a way to respond accordingly. And personally, if a man decides he doesn't want to interact with women on a consistent basis, that's his prerogative. But just because he doesn't choose not to interact with women doesn't make him any less than a man. Because a real man picks and chooses his battles. So, I just kind of wanted to point out that if you're thinking about subscribing to this channel, if you are a red pillar, probably not the best way to go. The title on his channel is a little deceptive, but I think this is a little sign of things to come, gentlemen. Just be on guard. We're not only being infiltrated by feminists and gynocentrists, but we're also being infiltrated by white knights and manginas. And I think it's just important to be on guard. So, be ready for more, because more is coming. Thank you.